Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession is about to enter the hall. We will be singing the National Anthem, the words of which are on page 11 of the program. Please now be upstanding for the academic procession and remain standing for the National Anthem.
Good afternoon and welcome to the University on this magnificent Adelaide Day. I, Ms Catherine Presser, Member of the University of Adelaide Council, declare open this congregation convened for the purpose of presenting degrees. Distinguished guests, parents, relatives, friends and especially graduates, welcome to the University of Adelaide's It Is Your Graduation Ceremony. We acknowledge the Kaurna people, past and present, the original custodians of the Adelaide Plains, and thus of the land on which the University of Adelaide campuses are built. We acknowledge the Kaurna people's ongoing spiritual connection with the land. Graduates, your graduation is an event in which you and your family and your friends can today take great pride. It is also an enormous source of pride and satisfaction for us here at the University of Adelaide. Graduation Day is an opportunity for you all to reflect both on the past and on your future. This day may well signal a significant change in direction in your life. Whatever directions your life may take from here, the knowledge that you have acquired and the skills that you have learned and developed here should stand you in good stead, not only in your working and professional life, but we hope in all aspects of your future life. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce to you today our orator, the Honourable Stephen Patterson MP. Stephen Patterson was elected to the South Australian Parliament as the member for Morphett in 2018. He was appointed as the Minister for Trade and Investment in the Marshall Government in 2020. Stephen graduated from the University of Adelaide in 1993 with a Bachelor of Science, focusing on physics, and a Bachelor of Electrical and Electronic Engineering with first-class honours. Before politics, Stephen was an electrical engineer and co-founded a software engineering company and worked with businesses in some of South Australia's key growth sectors, including defence, space and high-tech. Stephen has also held a professional sporting career, having represented teams in both the SNFL and the AFL, an experience which shaped his attitude to teamwork and collaboration. He lives in Glenelg South with his wife Tammy and their 4 children, who are also active in the community as volunteers. We are privileged today to hear him speak. Please join me in welcoming the Honourable Stephen Patterson.
Well, thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge also that the land we meet on is the land of the Kaurna people, and we acknowledge that they're the custodians of the Adelaide Plains region and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. And so we pay respect to their elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge Catherine Presser, member of the University of Adelaide and representing the Vice-Chancellor of Adelaide University, also Professor Anton Middleberg, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Electrical Engineering, distinguished guests, members of staff, and most importantly, to the graduates here today. It's fantastic that you're here, and it's certainly an exciting occasion in your life, and so I'd certainly like to offer my congratulations to you all on what is really a significant achievement in your life. You've chosen really what is a very challenging role in your business life, but also a very rewarding one as well, and it will certainly stand you in good stead as we go forward. As Catherine mentioned, I graduated, sat in your place back in May 1994 at the ceremony, and as she said, had a Bachelor of Science specialising in physics, but also as an electronic engineer. What my passion and the reason for choosing electrical and electronic engineering was, a real passion for space and also what we offer here in South Australia in defence. And so my first role working out of the university was at Mawson Lakes at Technology Park and out at DSTO. Of course, as I mentioned, at the same time when I graduated, I was playing AFL football, so playing at Norwood here in South Australia and then also at Collingwood over in the AFL. So when I graduated, I was a bit unique in terms of being playing football, but also in terms of football, I was the only engineer that was playing AFL football. So, it's stands you in good stead, but also, having, people in society getting used to that. I mean, at that stage, football was semi-professional, and so it was a bit of a uniquity being a university graduate playing in that role. While I was over in Melbourne, I worked at the Telstra Research Labs, and that was certainly an exciting time. So at that stage, I was in the multimedia department, and we were working on delivering services and content over the cable TV network. And at the same time, it became very apparent that those same services could be delivered over the internet. So really, I was at the start of the rollout of the internet here in Australia and all the commercial applications that brought with it. Additionally, at Telstra, I had the opportunity to work in their intelligent networks division, so on their mobile phones. And it's really fascinating now that we bring those two technologies together via our smartphones, so that in your hand, no longer do you have to sit in front of a computer to be on the internet. You can be, have access to the world's resources just from the palm of your hand. So that's, out of that inspired me when I finished my football career to co-found a business specialising in sports membership software for sporting clubs, so bringing in that electrical engineering and sporting passions, bringing them together. And so, with that, this business is still successfully operating as we speak. Since then, as you heard, was elected as a Member of Parliament here in South Australia, and in 2020 became the Minister for Trade and Investment. A lot of that was brought about by the Premier because of my backgrounds, getting me involved in the fantastic opportunities in defence and space here. And so I find myself, again, as Minister for Trade Investment in Parliament, again, the only engineer in Parliament, similar to when I was playing football. But I really think that's been fantastic because really engineering is so important and has a critical role going forward in driving our state's economy. And so myself having that experience, I'm able to sort of bring that to the table and recognise some of those opportunities that we have before us. And so when we formulate our plan, Stephen Marshall, as the Premier, has an ambitious plan really to grow the economy, to make the economy future focused. I understand how important a lot of those fields will be from an engineering perspective and where engineering sits inside that ambition. As I said, the Premier, Stephen Marshall, has set an ambitious plan to really grow our economy over the next 10 years, to have a sustainable growth of up to 3% per year, which is, ambitious from where the state's at, but really something that we're driving towards. How the government hopes to achieve that is really to focus on our strengths, but also take into account the fact that, we really have to coexist in a global environment. So not only do businesses that set up here have to sell to South Australians, or 1.7 South Australians, 1.7 million, or 25 million Australians, we've also got access in the Asia-Pacific region to a massive population base there, either India with 1.3 billion, or China 1.3 billion, or Japan, South Korea, all those other burgeoning countries there, with a massive growing middle class that really is quite equivalent to our Australian lifestyle. And of course, we've also got key markets in our traditional countries of US, UK and Europe. So as I said, as a government, we're trying to look at how we can concentrate on our strengths and really hone in on them. If I could just mention some of those strengths to you and what the priority sectors we see as being able to help propel South Australia forward. There's, of course, our traditional industries, whether they're food, wine and agribusiness, or energy and mining, and more recently, the defence industry. But also out of that defence is coming emerging technologies in high-tech and more noticeably recently in the space industry, and also the creative industries is very important too. And finally, from a services perspective, there's great opportunities in terms of tourism and also international education. And so the reason for mentioning that is because I think in each of those key 9 sectors, engineers have a massive role to play. They're very complementary and actually are important to making sure the ambitions of the state to grow, to attract businesses to South Australia is able to be realised, because of course we will need very talented engineers and skilled employees to be able to fill those roles. If I could mention some of the fantastic opportunities there are, so as of course I mentioned when I graduated, I worked in the defence industry. We've got some fantastic opportunities in terms of the shipbuilding and the submarine building that's going on. So they're $90 billion programs that are at their infancy, and they have decadal lifespans as well. So by getting in on the ground early, there's a career there for decades for all engineers getting involved. Similarly, what's going on out in Edinburgh, it's the second biggest air base in Australia. It specialises in electronic warfare, and again, there's massive opportunities there. So defence plays a crucial role. In fact, the world has realised that 8 of the 10 international prime defence companies have a base right here in South Australia, which is particularly unique. So there's massive opportunities there. In terms of space and how that can spin off from defence, we've just had the launch of the Australian Space Agency here only very recently. It was announced in December 2018 and has now come to fruition and has only just recently been opened. Again, that's driven by the fantastic commercial opportunities that there are in space, and there's massive opportunities for engineers to partake in that. Maybe into the more creative side as well. With creative industries, there's fantastic opportunities in terms of the film sector, post-digital video effects, roles there for engineers. And you would have seen very recently the premiere of Mortal Kombat. So that's just recently, in its first week in the US, grossed 22 million. It was the box office leader in the US, and that was created right here in South Australia using many South Australian production companies as well. So we're also trying to, as a state, get into those big global growth areas as well. Alongside the film industry is also the games industry as well. So gaming as an industry is actually bigger than the music industry and the film industry combined. So we're trying to lock into that as a state and create, fantastic career pathways for students here. So there's some of the opportunities. What that does is they're exciting future-focused industries that are actually globally connected. So no longer do our young best and brightest have to leave South Australia to go either to the eastern seaboard or overseas for career opportunities. Here you can find fantastic globally career-facing opportunities right here in Adelaide, South Australia. And so that's one of our key focuses, is really to be a magnet for talent, and so that you as engineers, if you so wish, can continue to base yourself here in South Australia and have a fantastic and rewarding career. If I could mention maybe some more opportunities that we have in the energy sector. So as a state, we're leading not only the nation but the world in terms of the activity we're doing in the renewable energy space. Only just recently at the start of the year, we the first jurisdiction in the world to generate over 100% of its electricity needs off of rooftop solar alone, let alone the fact that we've also got fantastic solar and wind reserves, that we're also one of the top places in the world on an average basis for producing renewable and reliable energy right here in South Australia. Out of that, a lot of international companies are looking to come here. There's significant investment coming into the state, which means businesses are setting up here in South Australia and allowing career opportunities. One of those career opportunities is in the emerging space as we transition our energy networks from being fossil fuel based to renewable, is in the region of hydrogen. So hydrogen can be produced via steam methane, and splitting off the hydrogen out of the natural gas that's supplied in Moomba. So Santos, a fantastic South Australian company, is looking at doing that as a technique, through to using massive solar and wind electricity generation to produce hydrogen through electrolysers right here in South Australia, and that's called green hydrogen. There's massive opportunities there, again, for South Australia to be leading the world in terms of renewable energy generation, and we're getting great opportunities with big, significant companies looking to set up here. So we're working with Japanese companies in the hydrogen space, such as Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, which are a significant global player. So again, there's opportunities there. And really, as engineers, you're right at the start of your career, and what you'll learn as you go through this, you'll be globally focused, but you'll also help solve a lot of those problems that are pressing at the moment, which I've got great confidence that the talented nature of the South Australian skills base will be able to contribute towards as the world faces, what are some significant technological problems right here, the ability for you to help commercialise them, the ability for you to help scale them, and also support our state's growth. And also what we'd really like to hope, such as myself here, is also look to start your own enterprise, start your own businesses as well, once you get your skill bases up as well. That then leads to further investment, further business growth here in South Australia. So as a government, we're certainly looking to support not only international businesses and large businesses, but also the small businesses that are starting to start out. And you'll see over in Lot 14, we've got a massive startup hub there where there's fantastic, new and emerging companies, which really are going to be the significant companies in 10 years' time. And engineers will play a massive role in that. We're really confident of that. And if I could quote Dr. Alan Finkel when he was talking about some of the transition that's going on in the energy space, he said, "Intrinsic to engineering is the realisation that pursuit of perfection does not deliver a finished product. Engineering is the art of optimisation. Design a perfect bridge and it will be too expensive to build. Compromise the design of a bridge and it will collapse. The job of an engineer is to optimise design." And so, as an engineer in Parliament, I also understand that as well. So when we go about formulating our strategy as a state, we understand that we, really have to look at optimising the design. I certainly hope in your career and your career prediction, you'll understand that you'll be able to actually help contribute to South Australia. I myself, think engineers have a massive role to play. You see more and more technology companies having a big role to play, whether that's Amazon, who's recently set up here in South Australia, whether that's Google, whether that's AWS. Those sort of massive companies are coming here, and you see more and more their leadership is coming from a technical field. I think, with many of the problems facing the world, we rely on engineers to solve those problems. Where I'd like to get to, I mentioned before, is, I'm the only engineer in Parliament at the moment. I'd like to get to the stage where, we have engineers who not only are very technically skilled, but also rise to the challenge of leadership and take leadership at a business level, but also as a community level as well, and see them actually actively contributing and solving problems and working for the benefit of the community as well. So I hope that some of you are inspired to take that leadership role. I think, the world is crying out for a bit of surety and to understand that where we're going, and engineers will have a big role to play. So, you're in an exciting field. I think you'll really enjoy your career. Congratulations on reaching this stage. I know how hard it is. I think it's one of the most technically challenging courses across all the university offerings. So a credit to you, a credit to your families for supporting you in this journey. As I said, a really challenging journey, and you don't get there by yourself. You rely on your peers, you rely on your teachers and the university professors to teach you, and importantly, you rely on your family to support you in that journey. So congratulations. I wish you all the very best for the future.
On behalf of the Honourable on behalf of the graduates and their families attending today's ceremony, I would like to thank the Honourable Stephen Patterson for his stimulating and inspiring address. We are honoured that you have taken this time on this special day to share with us your thoughts and experiences. Your words of encouragement and advice are greatly appreciated. They remind us that education places upon each of us an enduring responsibility to make the best possible use of our talents and to contribute to the betterment of society in whatever way we possibly can. Please join me in once again thanking the Honourable Stephen Patterson.
I will now receive the candidates for degrees. I call on the Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Research.
Ms Catherine Presser, I, Professor Anton Middleberg, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Research of the University of Adelaide, certify to you and the whole university that the graduates who will be presented to you have all fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission to the award for which they are so presented.
I, Ms Catherine Presser, Member of the University of Adelaide Council, by virtue of the power committed to me by the University, confirm that each graduate is admitted to the rank and privileges of a holder of the award in the University of Adelaide for which they are so presented. I call on the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences, Professor Katrina Faulkner, to present the graduates.
Ms Catherine Presser, I, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences, Professor Katrina Faulkner, present to you graduates from the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. To the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical Sciences, Jonathan Neil Bailey. Angus Bowden. Ka Chi Lau. Scott Daniel Llewellyn. William Robertson. Georgina Sawyer. And Damien Andrew Spitzer. To the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Chun Ting Al Yearn. Ivan Boldaroff. Henry Lawrence Day. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, James Lawrence Fricker. Fu Sam Wan. Zachary Robert Gabriel. Quincy Oliver Light Geary. Jesse Luke Hahn. Joel Peter McDonough. Indiana May Pigan. Christina Ann Tate. Monica Erin Vorster. Li Wei Wang. Wang Li Xu. And Bo Shao Jun. To the honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Scott Brian Adamson. Diego Baruna da Silva. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Adrian Thomas Brome. Riley Robin Blackwell. Robert Ivan James Broadhead. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Adam Julius Cameron. Hong Shu Chun. Ellen Beth Jan China. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Ian Robert Crossing. Vanura Ransika Devinuara. Jordan Anthony Di Bartolo. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Robert Dumitru. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Christopher Sebastian Fernandez. Juan Mandadish Aisha Rasangi Fernando. Martin Eduardo Gallo Picon. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Callum John Gilbert. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Patrick James Gregory. Bailey Jessie Heading. Hua Chong Hong. Kieran Hunt. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Jithin James Abraham. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Alexis Renee Jennings. Jin Han Jiang. Zachary David Nopoff. Elaine Nguyen Fong Kwan. Emily Charlotte Lauritsen. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Harrison Noel Lees. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Jay Leon. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Ding Bang Lu. Daniel James Mignonelli. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Tate John Mosley. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Louis Alexander Omand. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Lachlan Carl Page. Philip Panek. Mahapata Bandaje Jude Chamara Pereira. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Ella Marie Pitroya. Maui Ramos. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Christopher Mitchell Rockcliffe. Shane Peter Rosenboom. Richard Sang. Aniha Bhavin Shah. Swapnil Shrivastava. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Maxwell James Alphonse Telford. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Marek Wojciech Wojcik. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Finance, Alexander Thomas Woolfall. Also receiving the degree of Bachelor of Mathematical and Computer Sciences, Nicholas Matthew Wind. Juhan Shu. And Chuing Zhang. To the Honours degree of Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Science, Jared Dylan Gosden. Carl Emmanuel Henke. And Luke Anthony Smith. To the Graduate Certificate in Marine Engineering, Benjamin Jumeron Nueva. To the degree of Master of Marine Engineering, Matthew John Allen DeCure. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Mechanical, Sachin Abraham. Juan Chen. Mansi Ganshambai Gohil. Akhil Haridas. Abhinash John D. Bilton. Sai Kiran Reddy Kantrakantla. Yui Cheng Lin. Srikanth Madanini. Rushi Kiratkumar Mehta. Saket Mahendra Mehta. Darak Achutbhai Patel. Hardik Kumar Shaleshbhai Patel. Shane Nathaniel Pradeep Kumar. Kiran Puthyavita. Omkar Parag Rajay. Tusha Sharma. Arvind Natarajan Sivakumar. And Lavin Vagis. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Mechatronic, Sanish Sankalal Chakaith. Ritvik Ravishankar Dwarapul. Zishan He. Viswanwad Kasyap Ivaturi. Gaurav Khanna. Vignesh Raghunath. Vikas Venkantraman. And Vivek Singh. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Electronic, Siva Ranjani Ayopan. Ria Path to Be. Nithyashri Galangari. Abdul Rahim Mohammed. Nikita Rahendra Petkar. And Shriyang Shah. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Electrical, Imran Khan Jafar. Joshua Samraj Johnson. Sitharaman Kavasari Sankara Narayanan. Pei Ying Lim. Weishuen Sun. Dwayne Mark Varden. Wei Wu. Andong Xu. And Bo Yin. To the degree of Master of Engineering, Aerospace, Ashish Chauhan. Swarup Dharadkar. Danush Mana. Sanjay Shamhabai Sandagar. Ramachandran Subramaniam. And Sanjay Venkateshwar. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Electrical Switching in a Diacoptics-Based Tram Traction Simulation Tool and its Implementation in a SCADA Environment, Muhammad Abdul Hasnat. For a thesis entitled The Use of Biochar in High Solids Anaerobic Digestion, Mathu Indran. For a thesis entitled Vibration Signatures of Defective Bearings, Modelling and Defect Size Estimation Methods, Francesco Loriza. For a thesis entitled Energy Management System Design for Fuel Cell Vehicles, D. Shen. For a thesis entitled A Dynamic Spectrum Access Framework, Bring Your Own Spectrum, Madhulika Tripathi. And for a thesis entitled Power System Modelling and Simulation Using Co-Location Methods, Hai Ying. Ms. Catherine Presser. This concludes the graduates from the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences for this ceremony.
Ms. Catherine Presser, every year the university presents university medals to acknowledge the most outstanding graduates in each faculty who have completed a University of Adelaide bachelor's degree with honours or bachelor's degree of at least 4 years duration. The university medals are awarded to them for their consistent outstanding performance across the whole of their undergraduate studies. I, Professor Anton Mittelberg, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Research of the University of Adelaide, present to you recipients of the 2020 University Medal from the Faculty of Engineering, Computer and Mathematical Sciences. Daniel James Mignanelli. And Luke Anthony Smith.
I'm now very pleased to present to you Emily Charlotte Lauritsen, who was presented this afternoon with the honours degree of the Bachelor of Engineering. Emily Charles Lauritsen will now give the valedictory address on behalf of the cohort of graduates who were presented with their awards today. Please welcome Emily to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to those watching at home. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the graduates here today for persevering through all the challenges that university and life has thrown at them and completing their degree. I'd also like to thank all the lecturers, tutors, and university staff who worked tirelessly to make our experience so valuable, as well as the family, friends, and communities that have supported us through our journey, without whom our achievement today would not be possible. It truly does take a village to earn a university degree. Today is a great opportunity to stop and reflect just how far we've come in the years we've spent at university. I know that for myself, university has been a difficult but extremely rewarding experience. I'm sure many of us here today have experienced caffeine addictions from late nights, building up too many hours of unwatched lectures, and running that code over and over again without changing anything, hoping that this will somehow fix the compile error. Again, with the additional challenge last year of ensuring that the screen sharing in Zoom call was working correctly. But I'm also sure we've all had our fair share of fun along the way, whether it's been skipping lectures to go to the engineering barbecues, joining a sports team, or even starting a new club. Not to mention forming friendships that make group assignments, lunch breaks, and pretty much everything all the more enjoyable. Friendships I hope we can take into our post-uni lives and that I'm sure will help us in our professional lives. Throughout the challenging times and the fun times, university allowed us to grow and learn. Some of us have learned technical skills that will be vital to our professional roles. Technical skills that will aid us tackling today's and tomorrow's big problems. but all of us have developed our invaluable soft skills: time management, communication, critical thinking, and of course Excel spreadsheets, just to mention a few, all of which will aid us in every facet of our lives. But most importantly, we've learned how to learn, because remember that the learning doesn't stop here. Continue to learn wherever life takes you next. Keep building your networks and keep growing personally and professionally. And with that, I'd like to wish everyone luck in their future endeavours. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And thank you particularly for sharing your experiences and your passion for learning. Thank you. It now gives me great pleasure to congratulate all of the new graduates here today. Be proud of what you have worked to achieve in these challenging but extremely rewarding times. And remember particularly those who have supported you to reach this end. I wish you every success as you enter this next exciting stage of your life and career. As graduates of the University of Adelaide, you are also its alumni and ambassadors. Over the years since the university was established, its alumni have made an enormous contribution to the community, both here and throughout the world, and today you join this community of over 147,000 alumni, located in more than 134 countries around the globe. We also have 17 global alumni networks, including 8 international networks. I would also like to take this opportunity today to thank our orator, the Honourable Stephen Patterson, who highlighted the importance of your degree, but also the importance that community, service and teamwork, and where these collaborations can take you, optimising design. Thank you, Minister. I would like to thank our mace bearer, Luke Smith, and our other medal recipient, Daniel McNally. Getting there. Our valedictorian speaker, Emily Lauritsen, thank you again, and all of who assisted in the organisation and running today's ceremony. I now ask all of the graduates to remain seated, and I invite everyone else here today to stand and once again join me in congratulating the graduates on your achievements and on making us all very, very proud. I would now ask that the audience remain standing and the graduates now please stand for the academic recession. Once the academic recession has left the hall, we ask guests to please remain at your seats until directed to exit by our staff. And I now declare the congregation adjourned and thank you today.